Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. So, I've been thinking a lot lately about what are some solutions for the crime epidemic in America. And I think it's a pretty brilliant idea. Although some might call it totalitarian or authoritarian, but those are the same people who put policies in of theft, minimums, and no cash bail, stuff like that have created the mess we're in. So I don't really feel too concerned with what they think. So I think we should use microchipping on felons. Elon Musk has created his Neuralink for the first time. It's been placed into a human. So that technology is here to stay. We've been chipping animals for quite some time. And I think a certain class of felons, now I'm not talking about political dissidents like Edward Snowden, I'm talking like violent felons who, the case is closed. Guilty as charged. Guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Like, they are caught red-handed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That they should be microchipped, and the microchip should be placed surgically within the body in a way that it cannot be removed without surgery. And if someone tries to do it themselves, they will really harm themselves and not succeed. So, we should microchip them so that they're always trackable if they're ever put on parole. And this would help us to be able to find them if they commit crimes and put them into a database. So, when we have people, like if we want to have more travel, more global travel, there should be a microchip placed in these felons to where if they're caught in another country, they're, immediately deported, right? There's like, you are, put you in the system, we see you're a felon, you committed crimes in this country, get the hell out, you're out of here. Right? And then that microchip will bar them from living in certain communities, right? And this will keep communities safer. So we microchip the felons. There will be these posts that they'll go beep, beep, beep and alert authorities once that felon has entered into the perimeter, right? Schools, they'll have some type of thing around the doorways. Someone walks in, that alarm system is triggered, not like loud and not like a fire drill, but to the school police officer and the office, and so-and-so is a criminal, they're in the building, they're out of there, okay? So they get barred from places in society, okay? They won't be allowed in certain places, certain neighborhoods, and we also should have a separate hospital for those kinds. So basically, it's like an exile, a lower class of people who they have given up respect, honor, dignity, they prey upon the weak, and since we can't just do the old school firing squad and feed them to the gators, we have to create a new system that also creates a lot of fear and suffering. Because if you can't go to certain fun activities because of the things you've done, that hurts you worse, right? And since we're going to be deploying robotics, if you try to run, we send one of those Boston Dynamic dogs after you. You can't escape, basically. And we plug them into a system that tracks them. We have to put fear into felons. I'm not talking about, again, to reiterate, I'm not talking about people who, they didn't want to become a eunuch and, they were declared to have hate speech and then they get put in that system. No, I'm talking like the kind of people who have done such atrocious crimes that there's no way really back from that. Sure, they can pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, convert to Islam, have their sins forgiven, but that doesn't mean, like if a man has R-worded 50 women, that doesn't mean then he gets to go and be around, innocent people or trusted. Okay? I'm not going to hear this type of argument at all. Yes, Allah forgave you, but a leopard doesn't change its spots. You're always going to be a predator. You're always going to be a threat. You did things that were so horrible. Sure, your salvation, where you go in the afterlife, is up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That doesn't mean we need to let you around kids or in civilized society. This is why we need work camps. Okay? It doesn't make sense to me that good, hardworking people are heavily taxed. We have to fight to survive and deal with so much suffering, while a criminal gets automatic food, automatic shelter, automatic clothes, automatic everything. Sure, yes, they don't get to have everything they want, but it's guaranteed. The felon has guaranteed housing, while the homeless person doesn't. The mother who has children has to figure out a safety plan to survive, because there's not enough shelters, but the felon always will have a place to live. The prison. They'll have friends in the prison, they have sex in the prison, okay? And this is too soft. Men are having sex with female guards, men with each other, women with women. It's a mess, okay? There's drugs will get smuggled in. I'm reading an excellent book. I'm almost done with it on Rikers Prison, and it's really eye-opening. I'm going to share it on the channel eventually, probably in like 6 months. It's one of the books in line when I'm done reading it. That really just details a lot of the corruption in prisons. So prisons they're not fun, but they're not cruel enough. And so we need work camps that serve the nation. Okay, so we can bring manufacturing back and they'll be paid a very low wage, and we can use them for the really dirty, hard jobs. And if they're available for parole, they learn a skill that might help them go out into the world. We can't have felons, like California, for example. They took off the job applications where you had to declare if you were convicted of a crime. When you used to fill out a job application, you used to have to check that box, and your employer could see if you were a felon and then decide if they want to hire you, right? Few people want to work with hardened felons. Okay? And crime is so high, and people are so willing to commit crimes that we have to have drastic measures. Okay? The leader of El Salvador, look at some of the stuff he's done to the gang members. People are... Duterte, for example, when he was... I don't think he's in charge anymore in the Philippines, but he made it open season on drug dealers. Okay? Now, liberals want to legalize, tax, and regulate all drugs, and I have other screenshots of comments of people promoting this idea, and I have heard it myself from liberal professors, and I know this is a very common thing. Kyle of Secular Talk talks about it, and so I respect a leader who knows the truth about drugs and how it destroys a nation, and I do not respect liberals who enable crime by enabling the drug dealer and enabling the drug user, because drugs always equal crime. They always equal pain, they always hurt your health, and they always ruin families. Okay, there is no benefit to it besides your psychotic illusions that you enjoyed, and then everyone around you is suffering, and your body is suffering, but your brain got entertainment for however long the drug lasts, and then you're sober and you get high again. And the people who are so desperate to buy drugs commit crimes to get money for the drugs. No matter which way you square it, drugs always harm society. So when Duterte of the Philippines got tough, that was beautiful. I think that it's time for work camps to come into play, because citizens should be able to enjoy and live off the labor of the felon. So, for example, there is hardcore manual labor jobs. Make the felons do it. We chip them so if they escape, we can find them easily in the woods. We have AI employed in that system, right? It can be shoot on sight. You try to run away, they have the green light to find you, and employing drones, whatever system we need of AI to keep you in that vicinity to finish the job. Okay, and then you put those Boston Dynamic dogs all around the perimeter so you're not going to get out. Trees will be tagged with those little sensors or whatever, so you're not getting out. Okay, you're not getting out. So you can run as a felon, oh, I'm out of here, but no, you're tagged, and you're staying in the work camp. And this is how, and we also should show children in the schools the toughness of the work camps, okay? So, whatever the government, or whatever we decide as a people, I'm not sure who should be in charge of it. Maybe it's a bit of both, right? Who gets to use that certain class of labor? The felons should be serving us productive, law-abiding citizens. Okay? Make them the janitors. Janitors are a noble job. I'm just giving an example. If whatever it is that we need done, that's difficult, dangerous, harmful, we make them do it. So instead of the innocent children in Africa doing the gold mining or the mineral mining, you name it, cobalt, all the stuff they need for the hybrid cars, we should be making felons do it. Okay, the children should be allowed to play and live off that labor that the felon is. The felons should not be, they have energy, okay? So they got organs that can be given to proper people. They have energy of manual labor, okay? They have skills that can be put to work for the nation. Making them sit in there and making them go crazy while they suck up resources and cost, like I heard there was a number of over $40,000 a year of tax money is allocated to the felon. So why don't we put them to work? Sitting over there, masturbating, having sex, using drugs, reading books. That is ridiculous. No, put them to work. If the farmer has to do a hard, gritty job, why is the felon being rewarded with not having to contribute to the society? Work is honorable, right? So break them. Hard labor makes men better. And for the women in those prisons, why are they just sitting around, talking, chatting, gossiping, having their little oranges, the new black stuff? Why? Put them to work. Put them to hard physical labor. The decent women should be enjoying relaxation, right? You name it. All that kind of stuff. Find different punishments that are based on manufacturing, all kinds of stuff. Like if you want to test out a new hair dye, get you a felon. That person committed an atrocity against an infant. Okay, she's proven herself to be quite evil. We have a new hair dye. Let's dye her hair blue or, whatever. And let's see if it's safe. Instead of testing on innocent rabbits and stuff, we need to start utilizing other things. Prescription medications, right? We got a new drug we need to test. Why can't we test it on these bad felons? There's felons who throw poop at officers, who bite, who flood their cells. They're a nuisance to everyone around them, and we just can't get rid of them. Why can't you find some way to test? There's people who are mentally ill and broken. They have an exemption. Someone who's deeply schizophrenic, has dementia at the same time, and doesn't know who they are. That person is their mind isn't right, but there are very clear criminals, right? This is why when you watch true crime and then you're like, they're gonna get life in prison. They get to live. They don't have to contribute to society now. Is that really a punishment? And people are like, it's how cruel. They get the electric chair. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. You need to make things harsh and scary. This love, like, let me pet you and hug you and tell you everything's gonna be okay, and you murdered that entire family, but that was society that made you do it. No, No. So, we have to make the felon fear being a felon. And they should be a permanent lower class. Okay? The ones who convince for life, but they'll be chipped for life. This is my idea. It's time for us to change the game. Alright? Citizens should have lower taxes as well. So the felon should be taxed more and paid less. Right? They shouldn't really have any ability to have a lot of happiness. I don't think so. You need to pump the fear into them. Because lawlessness makes people more evil. That's just the reality. The more you let people have free range to do as they will, and the weaker your government becomes, the ugly side of humanity comes out more, not less. Peace is maintained through the threat of force. Okay? You have to have society be safe. Further, when the felons they get to go out, police cars should be able to... Personally, I would really enjoy the military doing beats, as in, walking around the communities, more police officers walking around, riding bikes, motorcycles, riding horses, stuff like that, so that criminals have a harder time conducting their affairs. And any officer who becomes corrupt should also get the same punishment, because they betrayed the oath that they took. And so it's important for us to really start being strong again as a nation. We cannot tolerate that type of behavior. That's why I think the social credit score system, I used to be scared of it. Yes, it can get out of hand. But humanity has proven that when they're left alone in the dark, they commit crimes and evil and wickedness. If people know they're being filmed, they sometimes will act better, except for those who love being watched as they commit a crime. And then, those types that like committing crimes, we clean the streets, right? The surveillance state is here to stay. And felons it's easy and easier to catch criminals now. And so we need to utilize that labor. It's time. Let's say we have a giant wall that has to be built. We have engineers showing those classes of people where to put everything, and the companies get to save money, right? Companies get to save money by utilizing this prison labor. We don't need to feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for the citizens who are working to their fingers off and making clothing, making stuff like that. We can use the prison class to do that. Okay? We should allow them to serve the good citizens. The good citizens should be rewarded. Okay? Maybe there could even be like, okay, you're an older lady, you need a tree taken down. You can pay a company, the company can use those prison laborers, but it should be free of charge to somebody, and we'll use the prison labor, right? Again, the prisoners will be chipped, so if they try to run away, and we have those robot dogs, and we have AI, we have so many tracking satellites, we're gonna catch them. If they try to run away, they get flogged. If you try to run away 3 times, capital punishment, gone, right? We take your organs once we harvest you, and that's it. We have to be more iron-fisted. We can't do this anymore of the, I don't want to say hippie Buddhistic, energy, but it's not working. Okay, men have to have fear of punishment. Women have to know that there's accountability for their wickedness. Liberals have allowed too much to happen. And conservatives have done too much hypocrisy, and they're quite flaccid as well. So it's time that we start having a serious conversation about punishment for criminals. Now, I'm just thinking about punishments. Now, criminal justice reform, reforming the court system, proper legal defenses, that's a whole nother subject. Not my wheelhouse. I'm just thinking of creative ideas to punish the criminal and to maintain law and order. And I'm talking about, like, seriously twisted individuals, right? People who have committed atrocities against the innocent. I'm not talking about just somebody who, it's just like, name a petty crime. Like, somebody didn't pay their cab fare and got out. That's still wrong. We find a solution for that. But I'm not talking about that level of crime to somebody who baked a baby or something quite twisted, right? We have to get back that fear. And we cannot, if you want to have the, what they call the state of nature, as Thomas Hobbes put it, then you can't have feminine women. Femininity is at its softest during peace. You can't complain about masculine women and then allow the world to become so violent that they have no choice but to become Athenian, right? To become Spartan. Like, women have to survive. And it's a fact that tons of women are victims of violent crimes and no men come to save them. And home invasions happen, so even if you stay in your house, there's still people who are going to come in and hurt you. There's medical malpractice. There's all kinds of crime. All kinds of wickedness. So mothers have to become that wolf, that mama bear. Female animals will work hard to protect their young. Mothers in states of disarray, of criminals ruling, have to become stronger, or they are weak and their bloodlines will discontinue, because they will fail, they will perish, and their children will perish because they were not able to have a security mindset and secure the future of their children. A man cannot be in two places at once. He can't be at work and then protecting you at the same time. Okay? That's why if we have those private communities that have a secure perimeter, right? That has patrol, that has detectors for those felons who've been chipped, we can help keep some crime at bay, right? But it's time for us to get serious. It's fascinating. There was a woman who was pushing her baby stroller in Los Angeles. A drug addict took a pipe and beat her in the back of the head, and she screamed, and she had to push her little tiny baby with the stroller quickly. And no one came to help her. It was only recorded from somebody's, like, they put in a camera on their garage. No one was there to help her. If it's not safe for you to push your baby stroller down the street, you gotta level up. And it's not healthy. See, why should the citizen be locked inside of their house like a prisoner? And the felon gets to breathe the fresh air, gets to be out. That's backwards. No. We own the streets. We own the community. You will suffer. Okay? That's just it. Alright? Period. And so, a modern gulag is necessary. And we need to, us as women, we have a problem. Sometimes we're too soft. I don't know why some women are attracted to the felon, the bad boy, but they are the threat to our children, and we have to start being strong again and understand that the felon will take you in the street and drag you behind his horse, right? They don't care about you. Seeing crime photos where some women are literally dumped in a ditch naked, and you're like, that is why you can't have criminals rule, and that's why women have to support a security state. Because our level of morality is so low. It's gone so destroyed that you have to go to the other solution then. If it was rare, once in a while, it'd be quite different. We're in a new world. Okay? We're in a world where there's free, violent porn on the internet. There was a viral clip the other day of a man who was cross-dressing as a woman. Went into a woman's restroom, took his phone, stuck it under the stall, and filmed the woman using the restroom. Our bathrooms are not even safe. Okay? It is time for us women to get serious about security. Okay? We, women and children, have to protect themselves. The strong men, they compete and conquer one another. That is their arena. Ours is to survive and protect our little children and our physical bodies. Okay? This is why we have to have safe places for us. With AI, such a state can be made more possible. Now, I do get that there are ways that can be abused and spread out. But what is the solution to crime then? Gavin Newsom, during the lockdowns of the sweet and sour sniffles, let out a lot of felons because he was afraid of the felons getting a temporary flu-like symptoms. And he unleashed those people. Check out those news stories if Google didn't bury it. Time and time again, California and New York City are showing you the felon is more loved, and the way our criminal justice system works doesn't benefit the nation. It costs us money to house them. They should serve us. They have proven to not be fit. They need to serve us. Okay? Think about in the past they had chain gangs. You literally would have prisoners chained to each other, and they were building railroads. And there was a sheriff on top of a horse with a shotgun, ready to take one out if they tried to run. That is where I'm getting. That is what we need. The citizen should be rewarded. Okay? The good citizen should be rewarded. That's why I think a social credit score, nothing to do with the one-child policy. That's completely different. That's China's overpopulation agenda. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. The social credit score of your behavior and what you're allowed to access in society. Incentivize the good and put extreme fear into the criminal. That is a way. And they say, oh, if it's not a deterrent, who cares? We're still going to get everything out of them. Organs, labor, whatever else we want. We win. Society, healthy, good citizens should win regardless. The criminal should never win. Being locked in with men and becoming gay and being able to read books and relax and draw, that's a pretty soft life. Pretty soft life. No, you need to be out suffering. And, oh, he's lonely and he doesn't get to see his kids, and, he gets letters, and, oh, that's such a sad life. Not enough. Not enough. Let me know what you think. I know this is probably going to make people not agree, but it is a serious conversation, and put your solutions. What is your solution for the crime? Don't do it again. Da, da, da. No. That's why that punishment in Islam that I have to study more, where there was for theft, a hand is taken, that's a deterrent. Yeah, that's force. Flogging. Think about it. An instant punishment that is lasting and you bear the mark. Oh, you did a carjacking? Here, be in jail for this amount of time. You're back in the street. It's the good citizen has to it's like going to battle. It's wild. We used to have to compete against wild animals. Now we have to really compete against each other. And taking peace for granted and turning a blind eye to the suffering all around because it hasn't hit you yet is why crime is spreading. Okay? And as drug abuse goes up, crime is going to be it's just wild. Just like when alcohol consumption became more used, car crashes. Car crashes. Men beating the snot out of their wives. Men and women cheating on each other. Women neglecting their babies because they're drunk. You're like, more alcohol consumption, more decay. Crime going up, multiple reasons. Don't fall for the sociologist. Let's get my laptop. I'm in an ivory tower. And let's talk about crime and what causes it. Don't intellectualize crime. Don't smell your own farts and get too high up. We need old school, real forms of punishment for criminals. No more sitting the criminal in the chair and saying, so, tell me about your mother. Did she tell you no to having cookies one time? Then it totally makes sense why you ran over those people. Yeah, it totally makes sense, you had trauma with your parents? Yeah, it totally makes sense why you did a drive-by. What? No. It's time to get iron-fisted. It's time to be imperial. If America cannot cleanse its street of crime, we don't deserve to be the hegemonic force in the world. We're out here like, fight terrorism, fight terrorism. Meanwhile, crime is not under control. And officers are not being trained as well. They're overweight. There's too many women in the force. It's just not working. Revamp it. Revitalize it. It's time for that serious amount of change. Let me know what you think, but microchipping is here. No, I won't put a chip in my head, but I think it should be used as a form of punishment and tracking for the felon. Let me know. Oh, and I'm fundraising for this really cool, sturdy, durable book holder that's adjustable, because I'm always holding my books and it's starting to really affect my neck. And I have a small one here, but if I want to sit on the floor and, it doesn't work because I have to, my neck is hurting. So this one would kind of help. And it's adjustable, so it can be placed on different things. If I want to stand, I can put it and then adjust it down. It's really nice. And a panel for privacy, right? So that will really be quite useful. And Aisha used to teach Ben behind a wall, and this would come in handy, especially if in the future I have little boys and little girls that want to learn about hadith or any subject really, and the boys can be on the other side and the girls can be separated, which will help with distractions, helping them not be distracted. So if you can help me fundraise for that, that'd be great. Basically $500 because taxes and paying, they're gonna, the shipping, stuff like that, you know how it goes. But that'd be great. And even if you join the blog for $5 a month, that's basically like if you're buying, $5 is buying a latte or a cappuccino or a mocha, right? Imagine buying me a coffee once a month. It's not really that expensive, and you get long form content, multiple posts that I do weekly on there that people don't get to see on Instagram or YouTube. And I'm not monetized, so it helps. Support what you love, and your money it's going to be put to good use. And once I get it, you're going to see it being used. And I'll post a video and then let you all know that I got it. And then if you want to leave the blog after that because I raised the funds, that's fine. But you should stay because it's a cool blog. Okay? Take care, fam. And let's put them microchips in, though.